Hey there, I'm Liz and welcome back. It's so good to be here again, sharing real life stories with you from behind my bifocals. I have to say, it's a delight to sit down and chat with you like we're on a porch, sipping something sweet, watching the world drift by. Well, maybe we'd best get into today's subject. Have you ever sat down and taken the time to think about time? I mean, really thought about it and how it controls your life. Well, one day I had, time on my hands. I was sitting there rocking gently, thinking about time. Meanwhile, Clem, my ever industrious husband, was out somewhere doing something. Probably thinking about time too, but in a more like get things done way. He'd be calling it probably reading time. I call it the moment I realized I might have too much time on my hands thinking about time. Now think along with me and see how many of these you have. I got time on my wrist, time on my clocks, time in my car, and even time on the radio. And when the clock chimes, they're even announcing the hour. But time on my hands, I've checked both front and back, and guess what? Still nothing. I think maybe the problem is my bifocals. Or maybe time is just shy and refuses to be pinned down. And then there's spare time. I keep hearing about it like it's some mythical creature. Apparently, some people have extra time over and above the usual 24 hours. Could I somehow add extra hours to the 24 I already have? And if I could, would I put that extra time in the morning to get chores done or at night for napping, or maybe even both, just to confuse myself? I know I'm just being silly. Wait a minute. And I almost forgot to add about spare time in retirement. Isn't that the golden age? I seem to have a surplus of it now. I sit, I ponder, I think about all the ways I might use it. And by the time I make a decision, it's dinner time or nap time, whichever comes first. And let's not forget the mysterious time off for good behavior. I've asked this before, but it bears repeating. Why is there no time off for bad behavior? Well, I mean, if it were, I'd be rolling in it now. Then there's about time. Clem once said to me, well, it's about time you got home. About time? For what? I wondered. Are you going to tell me a story about time? That might be boring. I don't need to know anything about time. Or is it just wandering aimlessly? Looking for a clock to rest on. And who decides when about time is? Maybe it's just an arbitrary rule set by society, or maybe by Clem, who thinks he knows the time better than anyone else. And speaking of rules, have you ever noticed how people ask for the time as if they don't have enough of it? Excuse me, do you have the time, they say, as if it's lost. And they're asking if this person's found it. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, do you have any time to spare? If you found it and have some to spare, well, do you rent it out? Because I seem to have plenty, but only if I spend it on myself. Hey, but if I could sell some of it, why, I could buy that new car I've been fantasizing about. This whole time thing makes me reflect on life itself. When we're young, time seems endless. You can dawdle, play, nap, and still feel like you have the entire universe ahead of you. Then somewhere along the way, it accelerates. You blink, and suddenly it's noon, or maybe even decades down the road, and you've spent the morning or years thinking about time instead of actually doing anything. I also wonder about the time I spend on myself. I like to think I use a lot of it wisely because without me around, none of that time would matter at all. When I'm gone, like when I croak, does the time I didn't use just get recycled? Does someone else get it? Or does it evaporate like a forgotten cup of tea on the counter? Then there's keeping time, literally, when music is playing and you tap your foot or sway along, like, how do you keep the time? If only keeping time could keep us young forever. Well, I'd like a lifetime of perfect rhythm, a body that never aches, and perhaps a few extra hours to learn all the chords on my guitar. But even time's rhythm has a way of reminding us we're human. And in everyday life, it's everywhere. In time, Liz, if you follow the hungry man's diet, you'll lose weight. In time, I've looked everywhere to find it, but so far, no luck. Or when I, won that trip to Mexico, yes, I actually won. The operator said I was out of time to answer a skill testing question. I pleaded with him to let me go back in time for a few minutes. No luck. Apparently, time does not bend for me. We're beholden to it, aren't we? Life is controlled by this 4-letter word. It dictates when we eat, sleep, call our friends, take our meds, and don't even get me started on appointments. How can one little word have so much power over our lives? Sometimes I imagine what I'd do if I could borrow more time. I would add some at the end of each day for talking to friends, maybe a little at the beginning to, enjoy my coffee, and maybe a secret stash somewhere in the afternoon for unplanned adventures. How could I pay it back if I borrowed it? So whether it's time on my hands, spare time, about time, or in time, one thing is clear: time is everywhere, doing whatever it pleases, and we're just along for the ride. How do you spend your time? Do you have spare time lying around, or are you always, racing the clock? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. Let's share a laugh about this 4-letter word that controls so much of our lives, and maybe we'll have some ideas how to control all of this. And now, my friends, it's time for me to go, because it's time for my next adventure, whatever that might be. I'll see you in no time. Meanwhile, take care. Keep your soul alive with lots of laughter and adventures. Until the next time, bye for now.